right, we're back on cause number 2020-46197. In the interest of Evelyn Hernandez, present is the mother by telephone, the father with his attorney and Attorney General, Assistant Attorney General, Ms. Sharma. And I believe when we broke, Mr. Mata was trying to introduce an exhibit. Let's proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to show to Mr. Ruiz, for purpose of identification, Exhibit 1, proof of payments to Amarina Flores. Your Honor, this has now been emailed to opposing party and to the Attorney General's office. Mr. Ruiz, can you please take a moment to look at Exhibit 1? I'd like you to identify this if you can for the court. I'm going to scroll through it slowly. Mr. Ruiz, I haven't had a moment to go through this exhibit prior to going on the record as well as now before the court. Could you please identify for the court this exhibit?
Yes, sir. Those are receipts for clothes, shoes, wipes, diapers.
Did you provide these exhibits? Pardon me, did you provide these receipts, which comprise the first part of this exhibit, to your attorneys? And are these true and correct copies of those receipts?
Yes, sir.
Also, the latter half of this exhibit purport to be copies of a bank statement. Are these copies of your bank statement?
Yes, sir.
Did you provide true and correct copies of these to your attorneys as well? And do you see them reflected here before you?
Yes, sir.
Now, some of these have been redacted, but what has not been redacted is that the payment that you are alleging that you made to the opposing party here today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll go through these quicker. Your Honor, I'd like to introduce as Exhibit 1, proof of payments to Amarina Flores having been identified in Mr. Ruiz.
All right, Ms. Flores, have you had an opportunity to look at these?
Yes, sir.
All right, do you have any legal objections to the introduction of these receipts into evidence?
Yes, if you look at the statements, they're from back in 2019. My daughter was still not born.
Well, all right, but do you have any legal objections? You'll be able to dispute it, but do you have any objections of the court looking at these receipts and admitting them into evidence?
No.
All right, Father's Exhibit 1 is admitted.
Mr. Ruiz, I'd like to ask you questions looking at Exhibit 1 with regard to the first part. And that are these receipts that you have for Walmart, and then you have receipts here for payments that you made, and it's like the first, pardon me, I know this is the first 3 pages. Could you please describe for the court, did you make these payments?
Yes, I did. We personally bought the stuff, and everything in those receipts was handed to her, and every time we dropped my daughter off.
And these payments have been made since October of last year?
Yes, sir.
And we're just talking about the receipts from Walmart, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you know the amount that it totals? Does that reflect on the first page is $388?
Yeah, I lost some of them, but yeah, for most part, yeah, those are it.
Okay. I'd like to now move to the second part of the exhibit, which are the bank statements. Could you please tell us what payment, to whom did you make these payments that are not redacted?
Mayrani Flores.
And what was the purpose of these payments?
She would ask me for money while being pregnant and after the baby was born. And I do understand some of those are prior. I haven't really checked the dates, but they were made to her.
And were all these payments made, pardon me, you did state they were made to her directly through this, you have your
Yes.
Zelle to Hernandez,
Yes.
that's the form to get to her?
Yes, sir. That would go directly to her account.
Okay. And do these amounts total the amount that's reflected on the first page, which is $3,082, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, do you know for the court, can you tell the court what amounts, well, what was the total for the amounts that you would have made when she was pregnant?
That I would have to go through the dates.
Okay, can you take a moment there just quickly to look at them? You have a hard copy before you, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I believe starting from August 28th.
Okay, your child was born on April
30th.
April 30th, 2020.
Yes, sir.
So payments before that date were obviously for pregnancy, when she
Yes,
was
sir.
pregnant. And what was, do you have a rough total for those, or do we need to just look at the total?
Wow. I would say around 1900.
What is that amount? What does that amount represent?
That was the payments due while her being pregnant.
Payments before the child was born.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So if we subtract that from the total, that would mean that the payments you made while the child was born would be the balance of the 3,082, which is 1,182.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Judge,
Wait a second, ma'am. You're going to have an opportunity to ask questions, okay?
Your Honor, we would then submit those totals, and I'll pass the witness at this point, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Sharma, do you have any questions for Mr. Ruiz? You're on mute, Miss Sharma.
Thank you, Judge. Just one question, Mr. Ruiz. Did you ever discuss with the mom, Ms. Flores, about getting credit for payments you made during the pregnancy?
We used to talk, but apparently to her it wasn't consider me making any or me helping. It wasn't consider any help for her.
Thank you. Judge, I pass this witness.
All right, now, Miss Flores, do you have any questions for Mr. Ruiz? Questions? I'll let you make a statement later on, but do you have any questions?
no, No, I don't have any questions. Just for the pickup and drop off, I would like for it to be close to my home.
Or are you asking him if it would be all right if it's close to your home?
Yes, we
All
can
right.
meet up in McDonald's here by my house.
All right, Mr. Ruiz, what is your response to that?
Well, I just want it to be somewhere halfway for both of us, sir. I don't have any issues as long as it's somewhere public. I don't want to go to her house or boyfriend's house, none of that.
All right, do you have another question, Ms. Flores?
No, that would be it.
All right. Mr. Mata, do you have anything, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Sharma, do you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. Flores, do you have any witnesses you wish to present?
No.
All right, is there something you wish to say, Ms. Flores?
No, I just wanted to say that on those statements, some of the transactions that were made to me, it was not for purposes for my daughter. It was personal stuff that me and him had going on.
Well, I don't understand that. What do you mean?
So some of the transactions of some amounts that he sent me to my bank account was not for my daughter. It was for personal things that me and him still had going on. Nothing regarding my daughter.
I don't understand what personal things you had going on. What does that mean?
Like he would just send me money for after pills, or sometimes he sent me money to have an abortion, the other things that had to be personal.
Well, that was before the child was born.
No, that was after the child was born.
Well, you can't have an abortion after the child was born, or were you pregnant after the child was born?
Yeah, I was pregnant after the child was born last year. And then he sent me money for that.
Okay. So what amount do you claim that he owes in back child support, ma'am?
Okay. So what I have that he has given me was the $700, but plus the $500 that he has provided the receipt of buying stuff for my daughter, and that's it.
Okay,
So
Ms.
in total
Sharma,
would be
Ms. Sharma, what total do you have as it allegedly, without giving credit, of back child support? Retro child support.
$5,936.
That's after credit, isn't it?
That's before the credit, Judge.
That's before credit.
Yes, Judge. $5,936.
Okay. And you have not given him credit for direct payments or any gifts?
No. We did not have an exact amount, so we didn't know what amount to give credit for from the state's perspective, Your Honor.
How did you derive $5,936 when it's
Those were the
been
dates,
21 months or something like that?
Judge, those were the dates parties had given us from April 30th to July 31st of 2021. Ms. Flores stated that in August, he started making payments directly to her. So those were the retro amounts that we had calculated previously, Judge. As far as
Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on. So that means that you gave some credit for direct payments. Is that correct?
well, if you're considering after August 3rd, we did not calculate retro after that date, Judge.
I'm just asking, what is the total amount of retroactive had he not paid anything?
Sure. Give me 1 second, Judge. Let me pull that amount up. If we're doing the payments at 22 months, Judge, that would be $8,162.
$8,162. All right, and what are you subtracting from that to give him credit?
We have
That
not
means,
acted anything to give him any credit because parties did not agree to it, Your Honor.
well, then how did you arrive at $5,936?
Judge,
I'm not understanding.
we were here previously in October, and those were the dates that parties had given me from April 30th of 2020 to July 31st of 2021. The parties had originally agreed on those dates, and that was the amount of back support that we had calculated on that date.
Back in October,
Correct, Your Honor.
but we're now in January of 2022. You didn't add any of those amounts?
No, Judge, we did not because the parties did not agree to an amount to give credit for.
Your Honor, may I interject something?
Yes, will you please? I'm confused.
In October, my understanding is the parties reached a settlement. In that regard, the documents were sent out, and apparently Ms. Flores did not sign the document. So we were contacted by the AG's office, in which it determined, even though she was agreeing to sign it, our client signed it. We thought we had a settlement back then. And that's why the figures got locked in. Once it was determined that she had apparently misrepresented to the Attorney General's office that she had signed them, she may have made an error and probably thought she signed them and didn't sign them. Then this was raised again by the Attorney General's office, which brought us to where we're at now. And that's how come the figures got locked in at that point. At that hearing, my Carlos was here, but my understanding, Your Honor, from today is that our client didn't have the bank statements with him in order to show the offset. So he wanted the opportunity today, presented them to the Attorney General's office, and I think they just said, well, let's just take it straight to the judge.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, is that correct, Ms. Flores?
Yes, the documents were sent to me. I signed them, but then Ms. Sharma, she called me and said that the documents weren't signed. So I told her if he could reschedule because I wanted him to show his W-2 instead of his pay stubs. He provided his pay stubs again, so I'm okay with that. I'll just go ahead and do that. And
Okay,
go
so
with
as
whatever's
of October, there was an agreement that he was in arrears $5,936. Is that correct, Mr. Mata?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is that your agreement, Mr. Ruiz?
Yes, sir.
And so since that time, there's been 3 more months that have accrued. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Am I looking at this correctly?
Yes, Your Honor.
Which would bring the total up to $7,049. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge, $7,049.
Okay, and according to the exhibit, which is not on the screen anymore, Mr. Ruiz has made some payments since that time?
Yes,
Is
Your
that-
Honor.
How much were the payments and so forth since
We,
that time?
the receipts are $388, and then the other payments since that time, on the bank statements, Mr. Ruiz, the judge is only asking for the payments on the bank statements that were after October.
Yes. How
Well,
much
it was 500 after October.
So that would leave a balance of $6,549. Oh, if I'm making my calculations correctly. Is that right, Mr. Mata?
Actually, I was subtracting it from 5936, Your Honor, but I see where you're getting those numbers.
Yeah, the numbers now, if we were to add what the agreement was, 5936 plus 3 more months, it would end up being what, 7,000 something 49 or something like that, right? I didn't write my numbers down here.
But as I understand, the parties did agree to 5936.
In October. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So since that time, 3 more months have accrued. We correct? 59.36 at 370, and then 371 times 3 is $1,113, which makes it a total of $7,049. But we're going to give him credit for how much for the last 3 months?
500, Judge.
888.
$888. So that's one. But that leaves a balance of $6,291. Is that correct? Are my calculations correct?
Your calculations appear to be correct, Your Honor. I don't question those. I guess the only question I was wondering is this. If the parties reached an agreement in October,
Yes.
and it was subject to just the opposing party, Ms. Flores, getting her signed agreement back, and then the parties were
Right.
waiting for the Attorney General to have that so that they can then issue the final order, and that never happened. It seems like it's unfairly affecting our client who was in full agreement and signed it. We signed it and got it in on time.
Okay, if there was an agreement that the arrearage was $5,936, and he then, if that would have been put into a decree, and he had to also pay $371 a month beginning November, right? So that's the amount that is going to be.
Okay.
Do you understand where I'm going, Mr. Mutler, or what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
So, Mr. Ruiz, just so the judge is clear, you've made no payments, child support payments or otherwise since October?
No,
Other
he
than
has.
the $800 that you
No,
referred
that's
to?
it.
Okay. 800. I'm gonna give him credit for $888 and indicate that the retroactive child support judgment be awarded.
Sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
on the bank statements after my child was born, I don't get any credit for that.
Sir, all I'm talking about is since October. In October, you agreed that what you owed was $5,936. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there's been 3 more months since that time.
I understand.
You should have been paying 371, but we're going to give you credit for instead of whatever it is, $1,113. We'll give you credit for 888 out of that, which leaves a balance of $6,291.
But Your Honor, I guess what the client is, what Mr. Ruiz is asking the court is that since there was no agreement ultimately, in other words, since the final agreement for that figure was not signed by the court, shouldn't he have the opportunity then to put in the amounts that he had paid that would bring down the $5,900 figure that can get credit for the payments that he did make prior to that time?
Okay, in other words, in other words, had he had the whatever receipts or whatever, he would not have agreed to 5936. Is that what you said?
Correct. And I think the only reason it was brought up now is that this is to ensure that the opposing party is not getting an unjust benefit here, because it's her fault that she just got it back in as that she told the Attorney General she was going to do. Those figures would have been locked in, but not having done that because she wanted another bite at the apple and wanted to come here and think that his pay stubs have been fabricated, which they had not been. She then got this additional opportunity, and now it's hurting our client. He can reopen it when she reopened it. That's the only thing the client was asking, Your Honor.
All right, well, it's not necessarily a reopening, it's just
You're correct.
coming back and saying, no, I was mistaken.
Yes,
It
Your Honor.
wasn't 5936. So what are you then claiming is the retro?
Your Honor, we believe since the amounts that he have been given credit, that he should be given credit the additional $1,182.
I want a bottom line of what you think.
$1,182, Your Honor.
Retro? No, I want a bottom line of what you think the retro should be.
I believe the retro should be $1,750.
$1,750 as opposed to what amount is the state saying is owed? Ms.
Well,
Sharma?
Ms. Sharma would have to determine if she gives credit for the payments that she's now sees on the bank statements.
It was 7,049 initially minus the $888 credit, so 6,161, Judge.
I mean, that's
Stated
That's a
this is
huge-
the amount that the judge had previously stated.
6,291 minus.
But the payments
1,650.
previously would not
That,
be.
that's $4,500 difference. Is that correct, Mr. Mata? You're saying that he only owes $1,750 in retro?
Well, if the figure is 6,100, the credit from the bank account statements that were presented, because he's already been given credit through the 388 of the receipts. I'm only looking at the amounts that came after the baby was born. Those totaled $1,182. If we credited those as well as the payments of 1,900, that's where I get. But using the $6,100 figure and crediting it 382, that would result in an amount of $3,028.
Okay, I don't understand your figures. Let's assume he did not pay a penny. Then the retro would be $8,182. Is that correct? If he did not pay a penny.
Okay.
Are my figures correct there?
That's for the-
That's $371 for 22 months, right?
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. And you're claiming that he only owes $1,750, which means that he would have paid $6,432 since the baby was born. How are you coming up with that amount?
Well, I was deducting the 3,082 that are reflected, the payments are reflected in the bank statement, which total 3,082. I was deducting that from the $6,100. That's why I got to the 3,028.
Okay, so you were deducting it from an amount that was already given credit. So
Yes, but the credits that were being given are not reflected in the bank statement credits. Those are other credits that he was entitled to.
And I mean, I don't know if you, there has to be somebody here.
all right, you guys are really confusing me. How much is the credit? Total credit? Mr. Mata, how much are you claiming total credit for?
Total credit we're claiming is
Since the baby was born, how much of the total, what's the total credits?
$3,470.
Okay. So if you subtract 3,470 from 8182,
Oh, where?
it's $4,712.
Okay, well,
Okay. So then Your Honor, you're proposing, or you're saying that the amount would be 4712 then in arrears?
If we give him credit for everything that he claims, then we're.
That's what my
talking about
client, yes, Your Honor, that's what my client was requesting, correct, Mr. Ruiz?
47.
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Flores, do you see where I came up with those figures?
Yes, sir, but I don't agree because, like I said, some of those statements, some of the transactions was stuff that it was between me and him, nothing regarding my daughter.
All right, and how much was that? If you're claiming that he gave you money to have an abortion after your daughter was born for another child, correct?
Yeah, so looking at the statement, It was $600 because I see other two transactions of $50 that was for other stuff after pills. So
All right. Mr. Ruiz, do you agree that you were trying to help her to get an abortion? That's why you gave her some money?
I sent her the money. I never knew what the money was for.
You didn't know she was pregnant.
I mean, I knew she was pregnant, but at the time me and her weren't together, she was seeing other people. So, I mean, it's kind of a hard, I mean, if you want to just blame it on me, I don't see that kind of fair.
I don't.
No, the judge is asking you, the judge was asking you, when you made that payment, were you making it because she was pregnant by you or someone? Or
She
were you
was
just
asking
making
me
the
for
payment?
money, but I don't know if she went and got abortions or not. That's something I don't know.
Okay. All right, and now we're going to talk about the pickup and exchange location. What are you proposing, Mr. Ruiz?
I believe I feel like McDonald's at 8920 Clearwood would be halfway for both of us.
8920, what?
Clearwood Drive.
Are you familiar with that McDonald's, Ms. Flores?
no, sir.
Do you know where, more or less, where 8920 Clearwood is?
No, I really don't drive that way. Maybe somewhere around I-10 and 610.
Well, we used, sir.
Is there something, Mr. Ruiz, that would be around I-10 and 610?
Well, the
Yes,
8920
we
Clearwood
can.
is.
What?
We can. I see one right here. Hold on.
Sir, the 8920 Clearwood, it's literally 3 minutes away from where we used to do it. So she's familiar with the area.
Wait, is that anywhere near I-10 and 610?
That's like 20 minutes from that's another 10, 15 minutes, I'm sorry, from I-10, and she pretty much wants me to go drop her off 5 minutes from her house. And I believe 8920, it's halfway for 8920 Clearwood is halfway for both of us.
Judge, I have it pulled up on the map if you'd like for me to share the screen.
What is that? You've got the 8920?
I do. I have it on the screen if you'd like me to share it.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at it, is it approximately halfway between where the mother
It's-
lives and where the father lives?
It's off of 45, going south between 610 and Beltway 8, Judge. So it's close to the Pasadena South Belt Ellington area.
All right. Are you familiar with the Ellington Air Base, Ms. Flores?
Honestly, I'm really bad with addresses. I would have to see the actual address.
It's 8920 Clearwood. Is that in Pasadena, Mr. Ruiz, or is that in Houston?
It's the city of Houston off of 45 in Edgebrook. And she's familiar with that area. She goes to all the bars.
45 in Edgewood. You know where 45 in Edgewood is, right, Ms. Flores?
Edgebrook, yes.
Okay. Is that about halfway between your house and his house?
Well, I'm not sure, honestly. But I mean, in that area where I don't want to meet in that restaurant. It's just always a lot of people in there. Could it be? Is that a McDonald's?
8920 Clearwood, yes.
What do you mean
So-
there's always a lot of people there, ma'am?
There's a lot of. It's like a restaurant kind of bar, so there's always
McDonald's?
a lot of people.
McDonald's
No,
is
not
not a bar, ma'am.
McDonald's. No, I'm talking about the other place where we used to.
We didn't
Where
talk
he
about
took us
another
up.
place. He was just talking about it's close to the location of I-45 and Edgewood.
Edgebrook.
Edgebrook.
Yes, sir.
You're not going into a bar. You're going into McDonald's.
No, I know that, sir. It's just that's where we used to pick her up. But I'm fine with that one. With that McDonald's.
All right. Court finds following judgment is the best interest of the child. Retro child support judgment is awarded in the amount of $5,200 to be paid at the rate of $80 a month beginning February 1st, 2021. Pickup and exchange of the child should be at McDonald's located at 8920 Clearwood, Houston, Texas. All other stipulations are approved. Do we have anything further?
Nothing,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Mr. Mota.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Flores, anything further?
No.
All right. Give me an order. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
Judge,
Honor.
I will do that.
Thank you for
Mr.
your patience, Your Honor. Appreciate it very.
Mr.
Okay.
Mata, we're going to
You're
be
welcome.
placed in a separate breakout room. So just wait for me there and I'll email the order to everyone.